Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NWA Power. We are coming off the back of an amazing NWA Give It All show as we saw Chris Brookes defend his NWA World's Heavyweight Championship against not only Punishment Martinez but Jordan Devlin. He did manage to leave the show as still the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion after he pinned Jordan Devlin in the main event. But we did see a brand new NWA World Women's Champion as Kenzie Page managed to regain the title by defeating Lexi Cabrera and Yuka Sakazaki in a TLC or Full Metal Mayhem match, but with the help of Stephanie McMahon, Taylor Rising and Ashley D'Amboise. We will have to see the fallout of this and so much more tonight in the next two episodes of NWA Power. So the pre-show opens up with a 66 rated match as Brandi Lauren manages to defeat Brittany Blake in 6 minutes and 1 second by submission. This is our usual eye candy match, and it does get a really good rating as Brandi Lauren is quite good at these matches, getting a 69 rating. The main show opens up with Stephanie McMahon backstage with Kenzie Page, Taylor Rising and Ashley D'Amboise. Steph says that she needed new faces to freshen up the NWA Women's Division, so she's brought them in. She says these three women are her queendom. Lexi then storms into the office and goes straight for Kenzie Page, the woman that took her NWA World Women's Championship off her. But before she can get to Kenzie Page, Taylor Rising and Ashley D'Amboise manage to get to Lexi first and beat her down as Steph and Kenzie leave. So Stephanie McMahon has introduced her new queendom, being Kenzie Page, Ashley D'Amboise and Taylor Rising, to the NWA audience. We have our first match of these tapings as we see the Southern Six take on Gucci of Matt Lee and Robbie as Tyler Breeze is still out with an injury. And it is Gucci that come out victorious tonight as Matt Lee submits Alex Taylor with a Boston Crab after cheating and hitting him with a foreign object. Again, it was quite a good match, a 52 rated match. Alex Taylor getting a 48, Silas Mason a 42, Robbie a 46 and Matt Lee a 52, and it does advance the Junior Heavyweight Championship storyline. We'll then go to the debut of Valkyrie as she manages to defeat Promise Braxton in just over 7 minutes. Again, Valkyrie is formerly Lyra Valkyria in the WWE, and she is here in the NWA making her official in-ring debut. It does get a rating of 48. Unfortunately, these women didn't have good chemistry, so it made for an awkward bout, but Valkyrie gets a 49 and Braxton gets a 32, so a decent debut here from Valkyrie. We'll then go to Bishop Dyer backstage. He says that he needs a change. He should still be NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, and failing that, he should have been the one to win the American Dream Gauntlet. He's been so close to either retaining or winning the Gauntlet so many times. But then Spencer Slade walks into the shop. Spencer Slade is the man that cost him the American Dream Gauntlet by defeating him at NWA Give It All. Slade says he has a proposition for Bishop Dyer, and Bishop listens as they both walk away. So we don't know what this proposition will be, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. We'll then go to a different part of backstage as we see Mike Mondo with Edith Surreal. Edith says she did what she did at NWA Give It All to help Weber Hatfield. If we recall, Edith Surreal did turn her back on Weber Hatfield by low blowing him in the death match between Weber Hatfield and Mike Mondo, meaning that Mondo retained his NWA World Television Championship. Edith says she feels that Weber is being held back by the powers that be here at the NWA, and he needs to join Mike Mondo's revolution to protect NWA from the outsiders that keep coming in. So we'll have to see how Weber Hatfield responds to this when he returns to the NWA. We'll then go backstage once again as we see Punishment Martinez with Jordan Devlin. Devlin is asking why Martinez hasn't been returning his calls or responding to his texts. Martinez then shoots up from his chair. He grabs Devlin by the neck and he says it's his fault that he's not NWA World's Heavyweight Champion right now. He's the one that lost at NWA Give It All. So he needs to do something very quickly to make it right before Punishment Martinez kicks him out of the NWA for good. So Martinez is threatening Jordan Devlin now. If he keeps screwing up, then he is gone. But we'll have to see how Jordan Devlin responds to this. We'll then go to see Kenzie Page once again. She's walking backstage, but on her own this time. There's no Stephanie McMahon, there's no Queendom. But she walks right into Brandi Loren, who we saw earlier on the pre-show. Before Kenzie can say anything, Brandi says she knows what Kenzie's all about. She knows that she likes to play dirty. But the NW audience have never seen Brandi Loren before. Again, she's only been on the pre-show. She's never made an official televised appearance. So she's ready to prove that she's here to stay in the NWA while staring down the NWA World Women's Champion, Kenzie Page. So there is tension between these two. So we'll have to see how this progresses in the next few weeks. We then go to a match for the NWA World Tag Team Championships, as number one and Preston Vance managed to win the Tag Team Championships by defeating Wildcard after number one submits Starboy Charlie after an interference from someone else who is seemingly called number two. So we have another masked man here in the NWA who has taken the moniker of number two. So we've now got number two and number one, who seemingly are working for Preston Vance and Corey Graves and Kane, and therefore Stephanie McMahon also. But we do have new NWA World Tag Team Champions. After this, it is confirmed that Vance and number one are working for Corey Graves and Kane, the new co-GM of the NWA in Corey Graves and his chief of staff in Kane. Corey Graves reveals that number one and number two are the new security for Stephanie McMahon and the new regime. Vance, being the head of security, needed some security that he could be in charge of. So he's brought in number one and number two. And Vance and number one are officially the new NWA World Tag Team Champions after defeating Wildcard. We'll then go backstage into Mark Henry's office. He has both Ortiz and Dozer there, the two men that finished joint top of the NWA American Dream Gauntlet. He says they both deserve to be in the final of the American Dream Gauntlet, but he wants a fair fight for NWA Into the Fire. So he says that the contract signing between them will be next week, and there'll be no physicality from either two of them, or the match will be forfeited and the other will claim the trophy and the shot at the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. So the contract signing will be next week. They're not allowed to get physical in that contract signing or physical in the 2 weeks after that, leading up to NWA Into the Fire. So we'll have to see what happens at the contract signing next week and if both men can keep away from each other. But then we go to an excellent main event, as in an 82 rated match. Chris Brookes manages to defeat Max the Impaler in about 12.5 minutes. It was just to showcase Chris Brookes, the current NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, and it is a really good performance for Max the Impaler as well, getting a 61 rating compared to Chris Brookes' 81. It is a fantastic match here, one of the best matches in the series we've had. We've had quite a few 82s now, but it is a very good match and an excellent way to finish this first taping. So now we'll go to the rating to see what we got and see where our popularity gains are. So this show gets a rating of 74, which has been quite a common rating for these past few shows. It does increase our popularity in 38 regions, which obviously is very good. But now I will see you in the second taping of NWA Power. So we kick off this second taping of NWA Power with a usual eye candy pre-show match between Natalia Markova and Brittany Blake, as Markova defeats Brittany Blake in around 6.5 minutes with a Bonnie Voyage, then does get a 62 rating, our usual rating for these types of matches. Markova gets a 65, Brittany Blake a 50, so it is a decent match. We then open up the main show as Chris Brookes is arriving in the arena. Then Jordan Devlin attacks him before he can even get out of the parking lot. Brookes does manage to switch around the attack and throw Jordan Devlin into a production truck. As he's about to walk off, Chris Brookes tells Devlin that if he really wants to fight him so bad, he can meet him in a last man standing match this Saturday at NWA Goes to Extreme. Again, that is the one small show we're going to put on just before the next taping of NWA Power, before we then get to Into the Fire. Again, we did have our last show last year, which was NWA Goes Extreme, but we are returning back to the 2300 arena for NWA Goes to Extreme. Then that first match of the main show tonight, the Diamonds in the Rough, they managed to defeat Dylan McKay and Sonico in 5.5 minutes when BK Westbrook pins Dylan McKay. Again, it is just to get these four on the show. We haven't seen that much of them that recently here, but it is a big win for the Diamonds in the Rough. We'll then go to another decent 58 rated match as Preston Vance, number 1 and number 2, the New Regime, do manage to defeat Oliver Carter, Jack Cartwheel and Fuego del Sol in about 9.5 minutes when Vance pins Jack Cartwheel. Does get a decent 58 rating. Preston Vance gets a 44, number 1 a 56, number 2 a 42, Fuego del Sol a 59, Carter a 55 and Cartwheel a 51. So decent performances all round. For remember, Preston Vance and number 1 are the new NWA World Tag Team Champions after defeating Wildcard last week. We'll then go backstage once again to Mike Mondo as he says his revolution is well underway. And just to prove how dominant he is going to hold an open challenge for the NWA World's Television Championship at NWA Goes to Extreme. But this open challenge is to any outsider who is not currently in the NWA. Again, his revolution is against people coming in to the NWA and taking shots, but he is inviting people from outside the NWA to come and take a shot at him to prove just how dominant he and his revolution are. We'll then go see Brandy Loren. She walks into Stephanie McMahon's office. She says she wants to prove herself in the only way she knows how. When NWA return to the 2300 arena this Saturday for NWA Goes to Extreme, she wants to face Kenzie Page for the NWA World Women's Championship. So it will be Kenzie Page against Brandy Loren for the World Women's Championship at NWA Goes to Extreme in the 2300 arena. So in our next match of the night, Marsh Rocket and Odinson make another defense of their NWA United States Tag Team Championships. Again, they are part of Bully Ray's Hit Squad, and them along with Bojack did manage to defeat Keith Lee and the Professionals at NWA Give It All, and they managed to make another defense of their US Tag Team Championships tonight by defeating Los Hermanos de la Jungla, who again we haven't seen in quite some time. It is a decent 53 rated match here. We'll then go backstage to see Bishop Dyer and Spencer Slade in the locker room. They're talking in private. Dyer then sees the camera looking at the two, so gets up and closes the locker room door before anyone can hear what these two are saying. Again, last week they did seemingly make an alliance with each other, or seemingly have some form of relationship with each other, so we'll have to see what transpires between these two. We'll then go backstage to the interview zone, or the promo zone. Gucci are there. They say that Breeze is not ready to compete at NWA Goes to Extreme for the Junior Heavyweight Championship, so Robbie E, he fits under the weight category, so he'll be challenging Alex Taylor for the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship instead. So it will be Robbie E against Alex Taylor for the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. After this, we see Mark Henry. He's holding his contract signing for the NWA American Dream Gauntlet Final. Again, this is between Ortiz and Doza, and it will happen at NWA Into the Fire. Henry says after they've signed their contracts that he understands that both men will want to fight. They want to get their frustrations out since they can't get physical with each other until NWA Into the Fire, unless they forfeit their spot. So we have scheduled 2 warm-up matches for NWA Goes to Extreme for both men. So Doza and Ortiz will both have warm-up matches at NWA Goes to Extreme. But then, in our main event of the evening, Yuka Sakazaki once again defeats Masha Slamovich in a match we've seen quite a few times now by pinfall with a Magic Girl Splash. Again, it is a really good 15-minute match here, really good steal the show match. Yuka Sakazaki gets an 80, Masha Slamovich gets a 74, equaling out to an 81 rating. So an excellent match to finish the matches for these two tapings. We then have Lexi Cabrera come out to the ring. She wants to talk to Yuka Sakazaki. She says that whilst I imagine both of them want Kenzie Page for the NWA World Women's Championship, She understands she has to go through her quote-unquote rats first. She says that her and Yuka should team up to face Taylor Rising and Ashley D'Amboise at NWA Goes to Extremes. We do have another match added for this Saturday, as we'll see Lexi and Yuka Sakazaki take on the Queendoms, Taylor Rising and Ashley D'Amboise. But now we'll finish the show to see what rating we got. So this one once again gets a 74, so we are consistent over these 2 episodes. Again, it does increase our popularity in 38 regions, which is obviously very good. So we'll see where that popularity is increased and how much money we lost, because again, we do always lose money on Power. So we'll have a look at our financial report first. We only lost $15,000 on the show, which is very good. 21,000 for ticket sales, 10,000 for broadcast revenue, 4,000 on merch. It is still a lot lower than other shows or other tapings of NWA Power. If we have a look at our popularity, we're up to 46 in New England, 31 in Ontario, and then a few other regions of Mexico, the British Isles, and then Japan as well. So, before we end the episode, because we won't go back to the home screen, before I end the episode, I do want to tell you the future of NWA Power and what I plan to do with it. So obviously it is a 2 taping system at the moment. It has previously been a 4 taping system just before we got onto Access TV, just after NWA 78. But what my plan is, once we hit medium popularity, I do plan on going to a weekly TV schedule. So that being every week we have a live TV taping. But what I also plan on doing is adding in a second television show, because formerly NWA did run NWA USA, and I do plan on bringing that back. Whether that'll be an A show or a B show, I'm still undecided, but I do plan on bringing back NWA USA when we hit medium popularity. And this will probably be how those episodes look like once we get to that time. So once we get to medium popularity, episodes will slightly change once again. Rather than having 2 episodes of NWA Power, it will be NWA Power and then NWA USA per episode. So there will be 3 or 4 episodes of NWA Power and USA before each and every pay-per-view. But anyway, other than that, that's just a quick explanation about what might be happening in the future once we do gain those popularity points up to medium. But for this episode, I will end it here. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell notification icon if you do want to be notified for any more uploads. And I'll see you at our next episode, which will be NWA Goes to Extreme.